and I'm so excited because it means I can wear sweaters and long sleeve shirts and all the cozy things. I don't know about you, but I have so many cool weather clothes.
I just watched a clip where Mykelti discussed how someone from TikTok toured Robyn and Kody's home. I agree with her. It is unsettling that the person was touching their clothes and belongings. There are boundaries that should be respected, and an open home does not mean permission to cross them. Mykelti was rightfully outraged by this behavior. We haven't lived Mykelti's experiences, so we don't fully understand her perspective. Clearly, there's a reason she feels so close to Robyn, even if we don't see it. But where is Mykelti's outrage about the mistreatment that Robyn and Kody have inflicted on the other people she claims to love? How can Mykelti overlook how Robyn and Kody took most of the family money for themselves, refused to help pay for Isabel's surgery, ignored Savannah living in a trailer, and disregarded Janelle's requests to pay off Koya Pass so the family could afford a house? How can she accept that Janelle gave them money for their house, leaving Janelle unable to afford her own, with no repayment? How can Mykelti be okay with Robyn trying to drive a wedge between Kody and his older children, causing Garrison significant pain? Why is she not outraged by Kody's verbal abuse of Garrison on TV? And where was her outrage when Kody and Robyn blamed her mother for everything, just because she refused to stay and be mistreated financially, emotionally, and physically by her father and stepmother? How does Mykelti justify their behavior to herself? It's perplexing. She shows unwavering loyalty to Robyn and Kody, but where is her loyalty to Isabel, Garrison, Savannah, and her own mother? It seems like Mykelti may not be anyone's favorite, including her siblings. She was the immature, whiny child in Christine's family, and often kids like her seek constant validation and acceptance, overlooking a lot to feel loved or included. Even though she puts in most of the effort to maintain a relationship with Kody and Robyn, she continues to try because, among the siblings, she has the chance to have a pair of parents all to herself and their love all to herself. It's a desperate situation, and I empathize with her. It must be tough to feel unheard and invalidated as one of 18. I understand why she chooses to ignore these issues, even if it means hurting herself in the process. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Reality Nexus X. It's me, Elena, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. On the other hand, what happened at Sister Wives star Janelle's son Garrison's funeral? Mykelti mentioned on Patreon that she is no longer close with Robyn because Kody's favorite displayed a bad attitude at Garrison's funeral. Garrison, Janelle, Christine, Mary, and his siblings deserve respect. Are we surprised though? It seems even Mykelti is beginning to see through Robyn's facade. When someone has main character syndrome, funerals can be difficult if they can't shift the focus to themselves. No doubt, Robyn likely made it about her and her own children, suggesting their pain was greater than that of Janelle, Christine, and the other kids. Instead of apologizing for her role in keeping them apart during Garrison's last Christmas, Robyn probably deflected blame, perhaps onto Christine and Janelle, for leaving Kody and breaking up the family. Did Robyn arrive late? I hope they don't feature any of this on the show, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. If Robyn does speak on it, she may face even more backlash. She's likely to make it about herself, which could alienate some of her remaining supporters. The funeral was a significant event that had nothing to do with Robyn. She couldn't even claim to be the biggest victim by saying she's the mom, since Janelle is his mother. And I'd assume Kody was close to Janelle at this point, which probably upset Robyn even more. However, I hope they update the intro with looks from this shoot and bring back the quotes, but focus on the family's breakup rather than their happiness. Christine's lip color isn't working. She's pretty, but this isn't it. Robyn looks much better without the purple florals. Mary looks fantastic. No notes. No extra wives to pay for Aurora/Brianna's weddings, and you know they prefer to marry them off young. Interestingly, Aurora and Brianna are on track to be the oldest daughters who aren't married or engaged. Robyn is such a helicopter parent. She's probably trying to set them up with someone influential and wealthy. It would be amusing if she tried to marry one of them off to Ethan Plath or Micah Plath. I'd love to see Kim Plath clash with Robyn. However, I just binged all the seasons and feel so hurt for everyone involved. Miri, for being gaslit and dragged along, Janelle and Christine, for also being manipulated, the older kids who had to raise the younger ones and were pitted against each other, and even Robyn, who I feel Kody has definitely manipulated. Robyn is clearly his soulmate, which is fine, but Kody should have been honest and said, "I truly love her and want monogamy." Maybe things would have been a bit easier if he had. Overall, religion seems to be a major issue here, and this is another example of it. Adding Robyn to the family was a lose-lose situation. If Kody had freed the original wives, he would have been seen as the villain who abandoned his wives and children for another. If he kept everyone as he did, his other marriages would suffer a slow, painful death with growing resentment from the original wives and kids. It was a doomed situation from the start, and it's even worse that Kody stayed with the original family while only showing his love for Robyn in front of them. I have a friend who experienced a similar situation. Her dad was a terrible parent to her, left, and then became a great dad to her step-siblings. She says it's the worst pain to see a parent love someone else while not loving you. It's better to have a parent disappear completely than to witness them show affection to others. I can't help but think of my friend with the Browns, as the original kids faced the same pain, but right before their eyes. They saw their dad carry Aurora during her panic attack, but ignore Isabel during her surgery. They watched him give love and attention to someone else, right in front of them. It's heartbreaking. It's not just about being left behind. It's watching what could have been your life unfold in front of you, and then seeing him get angry when you finally say enough is enough. Additionally, I found out what Sister Wives star Robyn does for work. She's a jewelry designer for K Jewelry. Just kidding, but I nearly died laughing when I saw an ad for K Jewelry on my Facebook with a purple-toned Claddagh ring. It totally looked like something MSFC would create, though slightly better quality, even if the fingers are still a bit off. It's Claddagh, for anyone who was unsure about the spelling. I love the symbolism of the Claddagh and have worn one most of my adult life. However, the stones and band on this one are pretty unattractive. The Claddagh is one of the most beautiful symbols in my culture, so I can't get over how poorly the one she designed turned out. Moreover, Sister Wives star Kody Brown is a prime example of how not to parent after remarriage. He forgets his biological children's birthdays until reminded, treats his adopted steps better than his biological kids, criticizes everything his previous wives do, especially regarding their biological children, and expects everyone to treat his new wife and kids like royalty. He demands blind obedience to rules, only to break or ignore them when it suits him and his new family. He believes he's the ultimate authority on everything, sweeps past behaviors under the rug, and focuses solely on his new family unit. The list goes on, and while this attitude was evident from the pilot episode, it has only worsened over time, and he has the nerve to be offended during tell-alls when called out on it. However, I don't recall him being directly confronted about these issues. There's so much discussion about how he treated his wives and attempts to salvage these marriages, but he's rarely held accountable for emotionally neglecting around 18 kids. The Christmas episode, where Isabel awkwardly sat at his house, is a stark illustration of this. Ignoring Savannah because he was angry at Janelle is a classic poor move. I understand that the show edits for storyline purposes, but they can't change the fact that he did or didn't do something so basic. His best excuse was blaming Janelle and Christine for connecting after Christmas. Meanwhile, he showered gifts on Robyn and her children, kids. He didn't even bother to call Savannah on Christmas. On the other hand, I might be off, but what if Kody and Robyn are still playing the victim/anger card with the OG 3 wives just to stay relevant on the show? Does anyone really want to watch a show where it's just Kody and Robyn being happy? They seem like two of the most boring people on their own. No sense of humor, nothing exciting about them or their kids. Not to single out the kids, but their personalities aren't as engaging to watch as Truly, Gabe, Gwen, Maddie, etc. It also seems like most of the kids don't want to film anymore, except for Mykelti, Aspen, and Gabe, none of whom seem to stay in touch with Kody and Robyn. The previews look staged, and at this point, it feels like it might all be scripted drama. If this family were genuinely working on healing and becoming functional, it could be interesting. But Kody and Robyn's ongoing complaints and finger-pointing are just draining and boring. However, so why did they have to leave Vegas? I thought they had a great setup in Vegas, a nice neighborhood, and their own little end of the road. Why would they want to leave that? I'm having a hard time understanding why they said they had to leave. I know Kody mentioned that the Strip was changing for the worse, but they didn't live on the Strip, so why would that affect their decision? It feels like Kody just wanted to move and used the excuse that they had to leave. Does anyone else think this way, or am I missing something? Gwen mentioned on Patreon that Kody gets the urge to move every few years. His selfishness likely made him indifferent to the complications of living far apart, which might actually have benefited him due to all the fighting with the OG wives. It could have been a way to pool assets for him and Robyn, as well as to create a buffer around their life together. Each time they've moved, the reasons are vaguely mentioned but never fully addressed. The adults have talked about moving frequently to avoid law enforcement or because it was their norm, so moving often seems to be a part of their life. I do think the Flagstaff move was influenced by wanting to be closer to Dayton, but if it wasn't Flagstaff, it would have been another place. However, it's possible they genuinely planned to stay in Vegas permanently, considering the effort and money they invested in their homes and cul-de-sac setup. This would make sense if they initially intended to settle down there. Maybe when Dayton went to college, they used Kody's moving bug as an excuse to relocate, playing dumb about their true motivations. Additionally, Season 19, what are your thoughts? What are you looking forward to this season? What are your hopes for it? Do you think we'll catch up to a more current timeline? It seems like we're picking up back in 2022, maybe 2023. Do you think this will be the last season? I could see them possibly pushing out one more after this. I was hoping to see some growth from Kody, but I'm not sure if he's capable of it. It's telling that he didn't even inform Mykelti, who claims to be close to Robyn and Kody, about selling their home or call her on her birthday. I'd like to see discussions about a fair division of assets. Since they've pushed for 18 seasons that they're really married, it would be interesting to see evidence of how they handle asset division. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Kody's reaction to David, especially how David treats Christine like a princess. I expect Kody to have something negative to say about Christine and David during interviews. I'm also curious to see how the OG kids react to Kody and Robyn, especially given the issues surrounding Christmas. I think we might get 1 or 2 more seasons before taking a break, followed by a special episode on where everyone is now. Moreover, catfish and divorce. I think the divorce played a significant role in the catfish situation. Mary was seeking attention and financial security that she wasn't getting from Kody. Kody was the one who pushed for the divorce. If you watch Season 9, it's evident that Mary was depressed throughout. Her body language speaks volumes. If Sam had been real, I believe Mary would have left and probably found happiness outside the family. She was desperate for someone to care about her since she felt neglected by the family and was struggling as an empty nester. Kody had emotionally and physically abandoned Mary for years before the catfish incident, and he's admitted to that. I wish people would cut her some slack. I know she's not the most popular, and I don't particularly like her either, but her situation deserves some empathy. The way they treated Mary when Leon left was really cruel. She was clearly struggling with significant life changes and depression. I think she stayed because of the show, her mother's presence, and the hope of being reintegrated into Robyn's part of the family. I wish Mary had had the confidence to leave on her own. She didn't need another relationship to move on, but I understand why she felt she did. She was seeking love and attention, and if she had left and spent some time single, she might have found herself and been happier. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd love to hear whether you agree or disagree. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell for future updates. Your feedback is important, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.